And Jacob said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gateway to heaven." Welcome everyone to another one of our vlogs from St. Mark's Episcopal in Dalton, Georgia. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us on Facebook and YouTube today. This is the season of Epiphany, when we celebrate the manifestation of Christ and the God making an appearance into the world. We celebrate this with the, starting about the Magi, which we did a couple of weeks ago, and the baptism of Jesus by John the Baptist, but also the wedding at Cana, when God reveals himself through the miracles of Jesus, and Jesus turns the water into wine. Very famous story on that. A few years ago, I knew a young man who was, despite being young, had sort of had a very, a lot of adventures in his life. He had a very difficult childhood and eventually got into addiction, and then even served time in prison. And then from that, went into recovery and eventually became a very, was converted to Christianity, and became a very intense and a very dedicated Christian, and was very excited about his Christianity. And one day he came to me, he was talking about that he had heard of a Christian scientist. And this Christian scientist told him, he had heard telling about the exact date of the world being only 6,000 years old, and very much like it's described in the Bible, and that he gave even the exact year that the world was created. And I did not tell him that I thought that he was wrong, but I discussed with him, well, I thought I agreed more with the scientists to say that the universe is being, and the process of being created for over 13 billion years. And that I felt that this was a greater compliment and a greater understanding of and a greater appreciation of God's miracle of creation, for it to evolve through all the creation of the elements and all the factors coming together to create life on earth, and how having this very simple explanation in the Bible was more like making God a magician, that he just simply created the earth and was not a creator. And we talked about this and how this is sort of that God's greatest, we need to appreciate God's great miracles, and the creation is obviously God's greatest miracle. And so much so that our understanding of it is increasing exponentially, and we're just now finding out how much we don't know about God's creation. And so our appreciation should be increasing exponentially also, but that's not always the case. And God, is continually creating, and God's continually producing miracles, but we fail to recognize and appreciate God's miracles. We're often asked, where do we see God? Well, we see God where we look for God. Wherever we sincerely look for God, we pretty much can see him. So this Epiphany, we celebrate Jesus turning the water into wine. But I'm going to suggest to you that a greater miracle is that every time we do the Eucharist, God turns wine into the blood of Christ, and he does it for sinners like us, and that, I believe, is a greater miracle. So this Epiphany, let's make it our goal to recognize and appreciate God's miracles wherever they are, and to always look for them. And let's strive to look for miracles, and let's strive to put all back into our worship and put all back into our lives. And for this, we could say, thanks be to God. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.